Hello and welcome back to yoga. I got a lot of very positive feedback and messages, requests for more classes for the Flexibly Challenge, yoga for the stiff. So I'm going to be leading you through a shorter sequence today, about 20-25 minutes, which is predominantly focusing on the shoulder joints and the hip joints, the two areas that often get very shrink wrapped and tight. Charlie's here modeling the poses again. Thank you, Charlie, for coming back. And you're going to need a strap. Someone told me yesterday that they use their dog lead as an improvised strap. So get whatever you need, a strap, a belt, or anything that's going to help you to lengthen your arms. We're not going to use it at the beginning. At the beginning, we're going to stand up. So please come up to standing. Bring your hands to the floor, tuck your toes under, bring your hands to your hips and hinge all the way up. And you're going to need a piece of wall here. So if you don't have a piece of wall close by, just move your laptop close so that you can do these first few poses and you can see what Charlie's doing. So the first pose, shoulder openers, is going to be, please come to the wall. So you've got the wall on one side of your body and stretch your arms straight up. Bring your feet together. If you're finding this really tough, then walk away from the wall a little bit. Otherwise, stretch that arm up completely straight to 12 o'clock and press the heel of your hand really strongly into the wall. That's it. And squeeze your legs here and breathe into the stretch. A couple more breaths here. You may even notice when you inhale, that stretch increases, and when you exhale, it slightly softens. Make sure you're not hitching your shoulder up by your ear, that you're letting it loosen and soften with gravity, gently down towards the floor. Now, coming into the next position, move your hand behind you so that it's going to sort of 3 o'clock, pressing into the wall. So you're actually going to need to walk away from the wall a little bit here because this is a deep stretch. And make sure that your hand is level with your shoulder. So Charlie, bring your hand down a little bit, that's it. Straight elbow, again, feet together. And again, really soften that shoulder. Soften the other shoulder too. Bring your throat back so you're not moving your chin forward. And then here, possibly to deepen the stretch, move your feet a little bit so you're turning the toes a little bit more into the center of the room. And then turn your hips also away from the wall and your chest. Keeping that elbow really straight, push the heel of your hand into the wall. Notice what's being stretched here. Now into the third and final position. Bring your hand down so that it's about 45 degrees to the wall. That's it. So turn your body back to center, bring the hand down, feet together, squeeze your legs. And then again, you can experiment with those tiny little increments of turning away from the wall with your feet, your hips, your belly, your chest. Make sure the heel of your hand is really pressing into the wall as well. Straight arm, soft shoulders. Soften your jaw. Then release. Now we're going to do those 3 stretches on the other arm. So, feels good, right? Okay, the other arm wants it too. So, yeah. So, Charlie, you can come to the other wall, yeah? We're lucky we're in a corner here. So again, 12 o'clock, bring that other arm up completely straight. Don't get too close to the wall, especially to begin with. Especially if this is your dominant arm, it's going to be a little tighter. Reaching up. If you find after a couple of breaths that you've got some ease there, that the tissues have adhered and have got used to this stretch, you could possibly walk a little bit closer in, even if it's just half a centimeter. And again, don't hitch this shoulder up by your ear or up towards the ceiling. Let it soften. Good. Now walk away from the wall a little bit. Charlie, you're going to need to walk forward a bit. And move your arm back so that it's at that 9 o'clock or 3 o'clock position. That's it. Feet together. Again, nice soft shoulders. Imagine someone's giving you a shoulder massage here and you're really letting those tissues melt. Then experiment with maybe moving your toes a little bit more into the center of the room and following that through with your hips, your belly, your chest, all the while keeping your jaw nice and soft and your breath long. So every inhalation is very deep And each exhalation is nice and slow. Now turn your body more towards the wall so that you can then bring your hand about halfway down, kind of 45 degrees, feet together. That's it. And then again, experiment with turning away from the wall, deepening the stretch, lengthening the tissues. So this is more for the pectoral group muscles there on that side of the chest. Soften your jaw. Someone's giving you a little jaw massage here. Let it loosen. And then finishing that little series of shoulder and arm openers, turn your chest, turn your feet back towards the wall. And then one more, this is a symmetrical one. So come to this wall again, Charlie. Walk your feet rather about 1 meter away, maybe a little bit less. And then bring your hands to the wall, up high. That's it. Then bend your knees and walk your feet maybe a little bit closer to the wall. The closer you are, the tighter the stretch. Widen your feet here as well, as wide as you would do if you were in downward facing dog. That's it. And maybe sit a little bit lower and lengthen your tailbone down towards the floor. That's it. Even a little bit more. Good. Don't knock your knees. Try and keep your legs parallel. That's it. And maybe look up at your thumbs just for a moment here. Relax your eyebrows, relax your forehead. Good. Then walk towards the wall and slide your hands down. Now, turn so that again you've got the wall to one side of your body. We're going to start to focus on the hips a little bit here, using the wall as a balance. So go back to where you were with the wall on one side. That's it. So standing thigh stretch. Use the wall as a balance for yourself. So fingertips to the wall, and your feet maybe not quite as much as 1 meter away. And then bend one leg, grab the base of the shin. That's it. And then push that hip point forwards as you bring the knee back. And try not to flare the knee out to the side so that both of your thighs are parallel. That's it. And if you can take your hands away from the wall, do, but it's there if you need it. Because I want you to try and hold this pose for a good 10 more seconds so you get a really nice stretch on the thigh. You're also getting a little bit of a stretch here on the hip flexor. Good. Now, keeping this foot high, take your hand away. Keep the knee bent. And then slowly bring the foot down to the floor. And then change sides. So just change your orientation to the wall, fingertips, feet together. And then bend the other leg. Grab the base of the shin. That's it. Again, make sure you're not hitching your shoulders up. So you're putting a little bit of stress and strain into your hips here. But don't let that translate into your upper body. Soften the shoulders. And then again, press that hip point forwards, press the knee back. That's it. Yeah, Charlie's taking his hand away from the wall. That's great. You can be a bit playful here as well, test your balance. Then take your hand away from the shin, keep the foot up. So the hamstrings are really being strengthened here. Good, and then slowly bring the foot down. Well done. Now, coming onto your mat, if you'd walked away from it, come into a bent knee, downward facing dog. So come to hands and knees to begin with. Make sure that your index fingers are pointing straight ahead. Your fingers are evenly separated. Tuck your toes under and pick up your knees, but again, bent knees. That's it. So this is really, really similar to the pose that you did when you had your hands against the wall and you were sitting down. This time your relationship with gravity has changed. It's a little bit harder like this. Make sure that your neck is nice and loose and press your chest back towards your thighs. Straighten your arms as much as you can. Good. Now just for a couple of breaths, straighten your legs and press your heels down as you keep pressing the lower ribs, the lower back ribs into your body, trying to maintain a little curve in your lower back there as much as you can. Well done. Couple more breaths. Now bring your knees down to the floor and sit onto your heels. That's it. Bring your knees together and sit up. Just stay here for a few moments. It's very good for your knees to bend them in this way, just for a few moments. You don't have to stay here long. Charlie used to have quite tight tops of his ankles here, so just kneeling like this for half a minute or two, a couple of times a week, he's now able to really lengthen those ankles. It's much more comfortable now, right? Okay, now we're going to do some work with the strap. So from here, come to lying down. The strap is to lengthen your arms. So don't worry about the strap. It's your friend here. So Charlie, take the strap. Now bring your legs together. Squeeze your legs together, and then pick up your right leg. That's it. And then with your head up and your shoulders up, put the strap around the ball of your foot. That's it. Kind of hurl it over there. A little bit closer to the toes. That's it. Now keeping the leg on the floor, the left leg on the floor, really straight, push through that heel, and then start to bring the right leg to straighter. Don't worry about how high that leg comes up. It's important that the leg is straight so that you can squeeze your quadricep muscles strong. And then with the front of your body toned, the front of your leg rather toned, it will help to lengthen and support the back of the leg stretch. Well done. Now relax your shoulders. Good. Now, making sure you haven't got a wall close to you on the right. If you do, then you need to move more into the center of the room. Put both lengths of the strap into your right hand. Bring your left hand to the floor, out to the side with the palm up. That's it. Turn the palm up. Good. And then slowly bring your right leg down to the right without bringing it onto the floor. And you can bring your elbow down to the floor to help you. It's kind of like a kickstand. That's it. Both legs straight and strong. Keep pressing the left ribs down, the left shoulder down to try and balance out the weight of leaning over to the right. Well done. Now this leg is heavy, so bend the knee, and as you inhale, bring that leg all the way up. Bending the knee will make it feel less heavy. Good. Now take the strap away and put it down just for a moment. So bend the knee, take it away. Good. And coming into eye of the needle, bend your left knee, bring your left foot to the floor. That's it. And then pick up your right leg again, making a figure 4 with the right leg. Turn the knee out to the right. That's it. And then pick up your left knee and interlace your fingers behind the back of your left leg. So you've threaded your right arm through the whole of the right leg. That's it. Through the hole that you've created with bending your right knee out to the right. Now let the left leg completely relax, but tone the right ankle and lengthen the inner ankle. That's it. And even separate all the toes on your right foot so that the muscle that runs down the shin is engaged, and that will protect the outside of the right knee. Try and relax your shoulders and your jaw again. And then release your hands, bring the left foot, then the right foot to the floor. Lengthen both legs long down the mat again. We'll do those 3 poses on the left side. So now pick up your left leg. Put the strap underneath the ball of the foot. Lengthen your leg. Lengthen both of your legs. That's it. So even turn the right inner thigh down towards your mat. Relax your shoulders. Good. And again, squeeze your thighs of both of your legs quite firmly so the stretch on the back of the left thigh is supported. And if you can take on one more thing, turn the left kneecap a little bit more towards the left. So it's pointing towards your left shoulder rather than your right shoulder. Good. All 10 toenails pressing towards your face. Now put the right strap into your left hand and slowly bring that left leg down towards the left. Not to touch the floor. Your right hip point will come up at some point. When it does start to rise up off the floor, don't bring the left leg down anymore. And again, you can use your left elbow as a kickstand, like a bicycle kickstand. Press the right ribs in to help you keep your abdominal muscles engaged and keep your body in place. Good, Charlie. Now bend your left knee and bring that leg all the way back up again. And then release the strap put it to the side, you don't need it anymore, and come into eye of the needle. So again, bend the left leg, bend the right leg, that's it. Interlace your fingers, the non-dominant clasp behind the back of your right thigh. That's it. If, by the way, lying down, you find that your chin is really up and you're opening up your throat a lot and it's uncomfortable, you can put a blanket underneath the back of your head to prop it up a little bit. Now, as you stay here for a little longer, relax your shoulders. Yeah. And maybe bring your right knee a little bit more out to the right. That will increase the stretch on the left hip, so do it slowly and carefully. Long, deep breathing, helping you to calm and release any tension so that more tissues around your hips can soften and grow into the pose. Now release your hands and bring the right foot, then the left foot to the floor. Good. Now we're going to come into a reclined twist. So stay lying down, bring your knees and your feet together. That's it. Bring your heels quite close to your bottom. Now pick your bottom up and move it over towards the right and bring it back down again. Then drop both of your knees over to the left. You're going to need to tuck your feet a little bit over to the right as well, so that you feel like your tailbone, your spine and your head are in a straight line. That's it. You can even bring your left hand onto the outside of your right thigh if you want to. It puts a little bit more weight down. So you can really lengthen and stretch and open the outside of your right hip, the right lower back, the right side of your waist. Turn your right palm up. Yes, good. If your neck feels okay, you could even turn your head towards the right to complete the twist in your spine. And then breathe into the right side of your body. You could even breathe with more purpose through your right nostril, into your right lung. Now release this twist, so take your hand off your thigh, push your feet down to bring your knees all the way up, soles of the feet to the floor again, and then pick your bottom up and shift it a good 10-15 centimeters to the left and drop your knees down to the right. Try and keep your legs parallel. If your feet are sort of moving around in space and it's annoying you, just tuck one foot under the other. Turn your left palm up. That's it. You're going to shift your bottom a little bit more over to the left, Charlie, so that you can really come onto the outside of the right hip. And then nudge that left hip a little bit more away from your left shoulder. Yeah, turning your head to the left if that's okay. Breathe into the left lung through the left nostril. Bringing a little bit more length and focus into the left side of your body. How's that? Is that nice? Yeah. This is a really nice sequence to do at the end of a busy day when you're feeling tight, maybe a little stressed, maybe you're finding it difficult to sleep. And opening up the tissues, opening up the hips and shoulders will help you kind of fall into a deeper sleep. Now coming out of the twist, take your right hand off your leg. Come all the way back up. That's it. And then come into child's pose. So turn over, come back to hands and knees. Bring your knees quite wide, almost to the edges of the mat for this child's pose. Big toes to side by side. That's it. And then slowly sink your heels onto, your bottom onto your heels rather. Walk your hands to the front of the mat. We're going to do 2 stages of this pose, or 2 variations. Arms really straight. Separate your hands a bit more from each other. That's it. Even more. Yeah. That's it. If your bottom is a little bit up in space here, reach around, get your towel and put it underneath your heels. Now, the second variation, change your arm position. So bring your arms back by the sides of your feet with your palms facing up. Let your forearms drop down to the floor. so that you can really separate the shoulders on your upper back and rest a little bit more effectively. About 10 more seconds here. Come back to really deepening your breath. Breathing into the base of your lungs and exhaling everything slowly away. If you find that irritating or you start to feel lightheaded, just come back to normal breathing. Now coming out of child's pose, push the tops of your feet down, raise your head, come all the way up. That's it. Now, just before we come into Shavasana, I want you to lie down on the floor on your belly. So come all the way down, move your feet to the back of the mat, tops of the feet to the floor. That's it. And then bring your hands beside your hips with your palms facing up. Squeeze your legs so that your kneecaps come off the floor. That's it. And then, yeah, with really straight legs, bring your legs up off the floor. Maybe your thighs come off the floor a little bit here. Bring your hands off the floor, your shoulders off the floor, and your throat. But keep looking down. Now press your legs towards each other and press your thumbs towards each other a little bit here as well. 3, so that all the muscles on your back body are really ignited here. 2, 1, maybe a little bit higher. Good, now come all the way down. And then flip over and come into Shavasana. So turn over. If you've got a blanket or a towel, put it under the back of your head. Just before you come into Shavasana, hug your knees in towards your shoulders, just to lengthen out the lower back a little bit more here. Keep your head on the floor. And widen your knees. So bring one hand onto one knee and one on the other. That's it. It's kind of like you're doing upside down child's pose. Then bring your feet to the floor. And lengthen your legs one by one. Separate your feet a little bit more. Turn your palms up towards the ceiling or in towards your body. Fingers loosely curled. You can even, here before you completely settle down to stillness, lengthen your t-shirt down, your waistband, if you feel like you need to. I'm going to stay here in Shavasana, close your eyes for about another minute and I'll let you know when it's time to come out. Soften and drop your entire body and let go. Now put a little bit of movement into your fingers and your toes. Notice the effort that takes. And then be still. And bend one knee and then the other knee, bringing the soles of your feet back to the floor. Then roll over onto your right side, pausing here for a moment. Cradle your head in your upper arm. Continue to feel that softness. And notice how your shoulders and hips now feel, having done those poses to strengthen and lengthen all the tissues, having moved them in their complete range of motion. How do they now feel? How do you feel as a consequence? Now please push down with your left hand, then your right hand, and bring yourself up into a seated position, cross-legged. Sit tall. Bring your hands onto your knees. Sit with strength and confidence, and yet with softness. So let your shoulders just drop down your back. Bring your shoulders slightly back. And then close your eyes and bring your hands into your heart. Lower your chin so it touches your fingertips, lengthening the back of your neck. And then release your hands and bring the backs of your hands onto your thighs and straighten your fingers and separate your fingers in a gesture of accepting the next event of the day with calm and patience. Now slowly open your eyes. Namaste.
Namaste.
Thank you. Well done.
Namaste.
Namaste. Thank you for practicing with me. Please do leave any comments or suggestions, positive ones, below, and click on the thumbs up, and please do remember to subscribe, and I hope to see you again very soon. Have a great day, or have a great night.
Thank you. Thank you.